What is going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Wesley from A Connection TV here on YouTube, the one place on the World Wide Web where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing me, follow me on all my social media, Instagram and Twitter, A Connection TV, Facebook, A Connection TV. And let's get into this video. It might not be a long video, but I'm here to talk to you about episode 2 of Real World Los Angeles Reunion with these old individuals coming back to gain clarity or to find forgiveness or to find understanding with everything that took place umpteen years ago. We have the cast of Real World Homecoming as Glenn, John, Irene, Beth, David, Tammy, and the other Beth. Okay, there's 2 Beths. Episode 2 was a lot. It was a lot to unpack, but what was annoying for me was, okay, so let me start off, and I'm not going to break the entire episode down because it's just a couple of points that I want to make that were great to watch, and I felt something here watching it. The segment on David, right? Because we're gonna bypass Tami because Tami had her episode 1, and she was trying to have another episode 2. It was doing too much for me. So I love the fact that we were getting into David's problem, right? We were getting into David's problem and the fact that they used the R word on this man and he did not R them at all. And I'm glad that he had the clarity or the established segment painted on him, and we got the opportunity to see that behind the scene footage. When they showed the behind the scene footage of this young black man being told by these producers what was going to happen, and when the one producer was like, well, maybe we could film you for a couple weeks, and David broke down and said, I don't want y'all filming me, and he stormed off crying. Oh my entire God. Wow. Wow. There's no way that you can be human and not feel for David in that moment. There's no way. There's no way that you cannot be human and not understand to some level or degree what that man had to go through from then until now. Why that man is holding on to so much anger and wanting to be understood and wanting to be vindicated. Still, why he's still warped in the mind laughing in that scenario. It all makes sense. I mean, I wish he would be a little bit more understanding and empathetic to Tami's plight, right? And what she went through. But all of it makes sense. Seeing that one meeting, all of it makes sense. And I felt bad for him. I really did. And there's nothing that anybody can say about David after that episode in terms of what he went through and why it took him a long time to get through it and why he still isn't really through it. That meeting was hard to watch. And everyone's crying and everyone's feeling for him. And he had a very real moment with Beth and Irene using the R word. And they seem to have got through it, it seemed. But again, it was chopped and screwed so much, I don't really know what happened. And I haven't watched Tami's review of episode 2 yet. But I want to give my unbiased opinion by watching what they allowed me to see. And I felt that I felt like David was awarded and rewarded by episode 2. I didn't feel like David was a villain. And again, it was great that they showed all that behind the scenes footage that we didn't get to see. It was great that they show that David was trying to make amends, trying to talk to them, trying to apologize, and they refused and rejected him. It was good to find out what was discussed in that bathroom with Tami and Beth, because he asked and Tami disclosed what was said. it was also good that Tami was able to get out the fact that she never used the R word and never placed the R word on him. Right? You know, the conversations between Irene and Beth to David was intense, but they apologized. But at the same time, it was good to see where they were at that time point, right? Things weren't as, back then in the 90s, it was not as realized as it is today, right? You have two women, the angry black man, white women fearing for their life and all of that. And so that was the era back then. And I think back then they didn't really knew the weight of their power and how, oh, I feel safe can go and what it could do to a black man, right? It wasn't really heard of back then. Like, it wasn't pronounced on television anyway, right? And so we got to see where they were in their young years versus where they are now. I needed to see all of that to understand everyone's side. I think episode 2 allowed me to understand everyone's side better because we saw all the behind the scenes footage, right? The problem that I have with episode 2 is not with David, it's with Tami. And again, she probably explained it in her episode, in her review, and I ain't want to watch it because I just didn't want to watch it. I want to go off on what I'm going off with right now, and then I'll watch it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. But we get the apology from Tami. We get the sincerity about how she felt regarding what happened with David. She's crying and all of that. I feel all of that. I'm appreciative. Everybody's apologizing, and we get to see it on camera because Tami was like, oh, y'all didn't see me apologize. When he came in, I apologized then and there. We saw everybody's apology on camera. We get it. Cool. Everybody's apologetic. My problem with this episode comes when Tami is making it about her and she's feeling that the people that she thought were cool enough with her and understood what she was going through because they were there, they would come to her aid and come to her side and hear her story because she came out with this body dysmorphia thing and she revealed so much and all of that. And she wanted those people to express that they understood and heard her. And it became this big divide because she didn't get what she wanted. So it was F them and I don't care and I'm not rocking with y'all. Y'all are fake. And for me, Tami in her 50s, that's problematic. That's problematic. And it's problematic because you're not allowing people to let you know why they did what they did and how they responded to everything that was taking place. You wanted them to come out of themselves and to still give you what you wanted and not naturally do what came to them. After y'all not seeing each other for all these years, you want them to move at the beat of your drum? I'm not here for that. And I don't appreciate that. And that's I'm like, what are we talking about here? That was my problem with episode 2, and I didn't like how Tami came across in that edit. Now, maybe she came across differently, and we didn't see certain things or whatever, but her cussing them out for not getting up to console her when she walked away. No, because like John said, when people walk away and they're upset, I give them a moment. I'm the same way. I'm not about to coddle to your feelings because you're crying walking away somewhere. I'm going to let you digest what you have to digest because at the end of the day, I'm going through something too at the same time. So you want me to neglect my feelings to make you feel better? And I thought that was a wash with Tami. She too old for all that. She too old for all that. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then on top of that, when I come to you, John or Beth, and I disclose to you what I was going through at that particular moment, you say F me and it doesn't matter because you don't believe me? Okay, Tami, well then F you and your feelings because I don't believe you. How about that? I feel like you have to give people the benefit of the doubt, especially when you haven't seen them in umpteen amount of years. You've changed, I've changed. Don't tell me how I'm supposed to respond to something because I'm resolving it within myself. I'm not disrespecting you by letting you get through your feelings alone. I'm doing what I'm doing for me. Now, it would be a different story if John or Beth was like, girl, you're doing too much, shut up. Or, Tami, it's not that big of a deal. Or if I was like David and I was laughing at your feelings. I didn't do any of that, Beth or John, to Tami. I allowed you to have your moment by yourself. So I'm not a friend and I'm not trusting and I don't care and I'm fake because I'm allowing you to digest your feelings. Beth and John didn't coddle David, didn't hug on David. We're still, according to the edit, I'm still very perplexed with everything that's happening here. I felt Tami was too weak in that moment, and cussing them out was unnecessary. I felt what Tami should have did was explain to them how she felt and how she walked away from the situation and how she would love for it to go moving forward because they were in the house with her. And she would feel more of a connection to them or that they care if they are able to display for her more empathy and understanding with what she was going through at that particular time. But Tami dismissing them because they didn't react the way she wanted them to react is bullshit. I'm not here for none of it. And I don't really care. What if she said something different? I don't really care. That's crap. That's crap. And you can't be mad that someone responds the way that they have to get through that particular moment because it doesn't jive well with how you felt that they should have responded. That was crap. She is too old for that, and I'm just not here for it. And according to the previews coming up, it looks like she is really acting up in this season. And I don't know how I feel. Well, I know how I feel. It's bull crap. It's bull crap. You got Beth trying to be liked by Tami, and then Tami making fun of John still being a virgin. If that's really what the story is, if John still is a virgin, like what? Why are you making fun of that? That's nothing to make fun of. I don't know. I think these people are too old to be having these. I think they're too old to be having these issues that they're having in this show. I really do. Like even all these years, y'all are still in a position to where y'all can't at least hear each other out and accept each other for where they are, when they are, how they are, with regards to how they're dealing with themselves. I don't know, that's problematic, and I hope it's fixed. Because in my mind, I'm like, why is Tami's husband coming to the house? What happened? What did Tami and or David do for the husband to come to the house? And you see scenes of David still having these aggressive issues, these hyper intense aggressive issues, throwing apples at people and stuff. Man, these people need help. Based on what I've seen in the previews and based on these episodes, they need help. I don't know. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought about the episode. I feel like everyone was shown in a positive light, except for Tami, when she was expecting things from people. And how are you expecting all this? And you don't even communicate with Beth. So how are you expecting Beth to come to your aid? Y'all don't even talk. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, Tami was wanting too much. And to be quite honest, I felt like Tami was in the same boat as David. They both were wanting for people to respond in a certain way just to make themselves feel better about what they all went through. And all of them had different experiences back then. So you're wanting for all of these people to respond a certain way. It's too much. Y'all are too old for that. Y'all are too old for that. Anyways, y'all probably ain't vibing with what I'm saying. Y'all probably got a lot of Tami likers out there, and y'all like West, whatever. But at the end of the day, all of them are too old to be going through all of that. They're just too old. And they should know better. Anyways, leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought about episode 2 of Real World Los Angeles Homecoming. I'm Wesley from A Connection TV. Follow me on all my social medias. And let's get this video up past 50 likes. Deuces.